Welcome back, Stress Less Challengers. We're now in week 4, and this is Wednesday, the 29th. So the whole challenge ends on Friday. So again, I hope you're thinking about some ways to continue with some of the practices, even in small ways. And also want to remind you about the log. So if you have any questions about the log, but if you've been able to log 4 times a week, just 4 simple practices each week, you can send that to me at the end and be entered into the grand prize. And I've got some nice things picked out for the winner, things that will help continue your practice of coping with stress. So today we're talking about coping with emotions. And of course, emotions are closely linked with thoughts. Monday, we talked about thoughts and identifying thoughts and seeing how our thoughts and beliefs contribute to our stress and whether they are helpful thoughts or unhelpful thoughts. Well, emotions can be the same way. Of course, there are pleasant emotions and unpleasant emotions, but usually with stress, we find if we take a look at it, some of the emotions are unpleasant and they kind of complicate things, right? We can get into an emotional tangle about the stress. And so today's lesson is really about trying to cope with that. So let's take a look at the quick practice. I'm going to give a couple of quick practices today. One is the 3-minute mindfulness check, which is a lot like stop. If you remember stop, but this is a little bit longer. So simply stop when you realize you're feeling stressed. And you can do this along with me right now if you'd like. Tune inside, what's the internal weather? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what body sensations are present? As you think about this stress or this challenge that's going on right now. Then you breathe for a minute or two. So really get in touch with the breath, feel the breath coming in and out of the body. Use the breath as a stabilizer or an anchor to the present moment so that your thoughts don't carry you off. So that's the idea here. Just breathe easily, naturally. You don't have to do anything special with the breath. Just breathe nice and easy. And then the final step is to then expand your awareness and your breathing to your entire body. It just helps to open up and be aware of your whole body breathing, be aware even of maybe the space around you, and just kind of carry this expanded awareness to the next activities. And that's the 3-minute mindfulness check. Really easy to do and something you can do on the go. So just ask yourself, how are you feeling? What's it been like for you in the past day or the past week? How are you feeling? You might want to pick one of these emojis and just kind of see maybe 1 or 2 or 3. Sometimes there's a number of emotions that we've been feeling recently. So pick 1 or 2 and just sort of acknowledge that to yourself, because that's really all we're really doing. We want to label our emotions. We want to expand our vocabulary for how we're feeling. And there's really a whole lot that we can do when it comes to that, to look at our complete emotional landscape. And actually, I'm going to attach have a really nice feelings chart. I'm going to attach that when I send these out for you, and that'll be a kind of a nice thing you can look at. But as you look at this quote here, that's really the message for emotions, is to simply accept them rather than avoid them. Our tendency as humans is to do things to avoid them, to push them away, to not feel them, to get busy, to numb ourselves, and we have all kinds of strategies for doing this, right? But this is really an effective trick, if you will, to avoid them. And so I'm going to give you a way to do that as well. But the idea is simply if you're feeling a certain way, and even if it's anxiety, sadness, depression, anger, because of some of the things that you're going through, because some of the stress is triggering this, just simply acknowledge that. label that to yourself and say, yeah, I'm feeling anxious or sad or depressed or whatever it is. And again, I'll send you that feelings chart, and you can expand your emotional vocabulary. One simple way to do this is to use the RAIN technique, which I use in my mindfulness classes. And that's very simply, the R is to recognize what's happening. And that's, recognize the emotion in the moment. The A is to allow it to be just as it is. So instead of pushing it away or trying to get rid of it or stuffing it, we just be with it. Allow it to be. Let it be. Okay, see if you can even be aware of the discomfort that it causes, just for a moment, just briefly. And then investigate it. Investigate your inner experience. Again, what are your thoughts, feelings, body sensations, but do that with kindness. If you find yourself saying, I should have done this better, or I should have said that, or I should not have said or done that, or they should not have done that, just try to bring an element of kindness to this exploration. And that brings us to the end, which is really non-identification, which simply means that you're not identifying so completely with the situation. You're not wrapped up into that emotional tangle. You're not getting carried away by the emotional story. And that can also be thought of as nurturing yourself. This is a great way to take care of and nurture yourself. So that's RAIN. You might try that. So you could try the 3-minute mindfulness check. You could try RAIN. And then we're going to try a meditation here. And during this meditation, I'm actually going to incorporate a way to kind of stabilize the emotions that you're feeling, and also a couple of metaphors for doing this, ways to think about bringing a sense of calm and equanimity. And I'll explain what that means after the meditation. So find a position that's very comfortable for you. And if you can, just sit in a way that's balanced and easy and relaxed, but also alert. Letting your body settle, bringing a kind attention to whatever is present. And you might feel your body with a half smile of kindness. So we've used this smile before, so you might even bring a smile to your lips and just bring this attitude of friendliness to the exercise and kindness to yourself. Bring your attention to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Just take a moment to feel the breath, the inflow and the outflow of each breath, feeling it in the body, wherever you feel it most. And remember, if the mind wanders, that's okay. Just notice that and bring it back to focusing on the breath again. Okay, very good. Now bring your attention to deliberately focus on a strong or difficult emotion. And take a moment to remember a situation of difficulty in your life. And as you remember and picture this difficulty, let yourself remember how it feels. And just choose one of the emotions. It doesn't, I don't want you to get too involved and too wrapped up. Just choose one of the emotions that arise. It might be fear or hurt or anger or anxiety, worry, something like that. Just allow yourself to feel it. This is the acknowledging part, letting it be. And now don't focus on the story about it, but drop down and sense the feeling in your body. See if you can notice where it is in your body and let it be here for a moment, breathing continually to make space for it, nice and evenly. And you can name the emotion to yourself softly, allowing it space to be and to expand in this field of mindfulness. Now, add compassion. Don't judge the feeling. Don't try to make it go away. Hold it with compassion for all the suffering that's connected with it. And see how it responds to compassion. And as you feel this strong feeling, imagine how many others are experiencing this same feeling across the world. And let your compassion grow to include them as well. And as we work with difficult, strong emotions, anytime you feel a little bit overwhelmed, you can simply ground yourself by going back to the anchor of your breath. Feeling that next breath, tuning into the gentle rhythm of your breathing. It's sort of like standing on a boat. You need to be not too rigid, but flexible and balancing with the waves, shifting a bit so that you can stay balanced. And as the waves come and go, see if you can ride the waves of the sensations of your breath, finding mental stability among the sensations of the breath. Seeing if you can find mental poise as we just sit here and feel the breath. You can imagine that if the waves are choppy and there are ups and downs and feeling a little bit out of control, you can also throw out an anchor. And simply throwing this anchor out, all that means is feeling the breath or feeling the body. You can feel the anchor of your body in the chair where you're sitting, your feet on the floor, grounding you. Feel the stability and steadiness that brings. The thoughts may rise in the mind like waves in the ocean, and seeing if you can notice waves of thought rising in the mind and just catch a wave back again to the breath, throwing out an anchor anytime you need some more stability. Now, one more image that we can bring up that you might find helpful is the eye of the hurricane. Let's see if you can become like the center of the hurricane. Your current circumstances, your thoughts, your feelings, sensations throughout the body can be compared to the winds of a hurricane. Is it possible for you to let go of all these things for a moment so that you're no longer taking part in them? Like the center of the hurricane is not taking part in the turbulent surrounding winds. To do this, all you have to do is focus on your breathing again. Simply breathe in and out. And focus inward. Just like the eye of the hurricane is deep within the hurricane, your eye is deep within you. And use your breath to connect to this part of you. Stay connected to your breath. And if anything stressful happens in the moment, negative thoughts, unpleasant feelings, difficult life events or memories, try to look at them as if they are the turbulent wind of the hurricane, whirling around, continually changing, unpredictable in nature. Notice you are not them. You are the silent center of the hurricane, the part that's peaceful, despite what's happening around you. You are the silent center eye of the hurricane, peaceful and at ease. You are not reacting, you are simply observing. Just sit with this image for a moment, breathing as you stay within the eye of the hurricane, stable, calm, peaceful, not getting caught up in the winds surrounding you, just staying right centered in the eye of the hurricane, safe, peaceful place, breathing in and breathing out. Now let's let that image go away and let's come back to our breathing for a moment. Feel the breath in and out. Feel your body in the chair. And when you're ready, opening the eyes as we finish that meditation for working with difficult emotions. Okay, so thanks for trying that with me. And that might be something you can always bring up, that image of the hurricane or being in a boat, riding the waves of some turbulence and throwing out the anchor. There's lots of ways that you can do that. And so I would encourage you to practice this a little bit. And basically what you're doing is practicing equanimity. Equanimity is kind of a balance. Here are a definition and some synonyms for it: mental calmness and composure, evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. So as you look over some of the synonyms, if I could say that word, you can see how that can really be helpful. And you can see how we cultivate that sense of equanimity in this kind of a meditation where we acknowledge the emotions, we find poise, we find mental stability with the breath, with our body, or with an image, whatever you find most helpful. So give that a try. Find those moments of equanimity. See if they can help you move through some of the ups and downs and the turbulence that's around us. So leave you with this last slide, just a reminder about employee and family resources. It's also a great way to get assistance for anything that you might need in finding resources or getting some direct consultation and counseling or legal financial services, or check out our website as well. So again, thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you Friday. Friday is our live session. If you can't make it, it's at 12:30 to 1:15. And if you can't make that for some reason, I will have that recorded also, and I'll send it out to you. So thanks very much, and hope you have a great day finding equanimity. Take good care.